continuing on with my 10-pound bag of potatoes. I don't want them to go bad. So today we're going to make some baked potato soup. What do they call that when you have all the toppings on it? It'll come to me in a second. Loaded baked potato soup. So to start off with, I got about 10 medium-sized russet potatoes here. I'm going to take these over to the sink, get them washed off, and then we're going to poke some holes in it with a fork, and then we're going to pop them in a 400-degree oven. Should take about 40 minutes or so, but we're going to bake them until they're fork tender. When you stick a fork in or a knife, they're tender all the way through. So I can do all that off camera, and when we come back, I'll cut in here in a minute though. Let me get these potatoes prepped and I'll be right back. Alright, there's my holes in my potatoes. I just poked them about 4 times with the fork after I rinsed them off. We're going to pop these in my 400-degree oven, and I'll be right back and we'll prep up some bacon. Alright, so I got a pound of bacon here. Let's see if I can get this open. Alright, and I got this bacon sheet, and since we're using the oven, you could fry this bacon up if you wanted, but I got the oven on anyway. I might as well bake it. I'm just going to lay these sheets out on some parchment lined tray. Alright, I just about got that on a half a bacon sheet there, half size bacon sheet. There we go. So we'll pop this in the oven with those potatoes, and I'll just keep an eye on this so it don't burn, and we'll cook this until it's nice and crispy. So I'll see you when it all comes out of the oven. Okay, I don't want to tilt this too much because I got all that grease in there, but you can see my bacon has turned out nice and crispy, and the great thing about baking it like this is it stays flat. It's just really a lot easier way to make bacon, let me tell you, than trying over a skillet that's splattering and spitting pad everywhere. Just throw it in the oven on a parchment lined tray. Look at that. Nice looking bacon. So I'm going to get this transferred to a plate with paper towels and get that drying out, and we're still got the potatoes in the oven. So I'll be back when the potatoes are ready. Okay, my potatoes are done. So I just wanted to show you the beauty of my bacon. Looking good in there. And the beauty of the cleanup after bacon. Bacon. I spooned off my bacon fat as much as I could get, because we're going to use that in our soup. Some of that. And then you just go like that. Check that out. Just wash that pan quickly and it's done. No scrubbing a skillet. Alright, let's get my taters. Alright, we're going to set these potatoes off to the side and let them cool down. I'll come back and we'll start putting together this loaded baked potato soup. I had to think about it again. I tell you, the old mind's getting kind of foggy and gray up there. I don't know what we're going to do about that. So, next time you see me, we'll be putting some of this together. I'll see you then. Okay, my taters have cooled down enough to where I can handle those. I went ahead and chopped up my bacon. There. And we're going to get together on this soup we're going to make. So what I got here, we're going to use some of our bacon grease. I'm going to put in 6 ounces of Parmesan cheese at the end, along with my pepper jack cheese, because I really like that pepper jack cheese in potato soup. That came out nice. I got 4 stalks of celery, 2 yellow onions, a stick of butter, 4 cups of chicken stock, some garlic, Obviously my 10 medium-sized potatoes over there, a little bit of flour for the roux, salt and pepper to taste, and anything else I think of along the way. First thing we're going to do is get our onions started. So let's take our stick of butter, get that in the Dutch oven. Get that melting. While that's doing that, let's get our onions chopped up. Get my handy dandy dicer out. Alright, that made nice work of that. Go ahead and put that in with the butter that's melting. Now, like I say, I took my celery sticks, washed them, chopped them, peeled them, then cut them in like, I don't know, 3-inch size pieces. That should fit in there. Chop those up. I might go with smaller chop on those. While I'm doing that, let's go ahead and cut these in half. Make it a little bit easier on the chopper. Alright, let's try that and see how it works. Not too bad. Okay, let's add those to the onions. Now I'm going to add, I don't know, a couple of tablespoons of this bacon fat to that as well. And we're just gonna beat that until those onions are nice and translucent. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, while those are softening up, let's go ahead and peel our potatoes. Okay, my onions are nice and soft, so I'm going to put about 4 cloves of minced garlic. Since I'm using pre-minced, that's 4 teaspoons. Just fry that for just about a minute. Alright. Now, I'm going to put 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour in there. We're going to do this gradually so we don't get lumps. Just stirring that as we go. That'll mix in with that butter and grease. All right, let that cook for a minute or so. While that's cooking for a minute, I'm going to quickly start chopping up my potatoes, dicing them. All right. That's took the flour and cooked it off a little bit. Now we're going to take our 4 cups of chicken broth and slowly add that to the pot. All right. We're going to bring that up to a simmer. While we're doing that, we're going to finish our taters. Okay, that's come up to a simmer. Not quite not ready yet, so I'm going to turn that down to low while I grate my pepper jack cheese. Now this is pepper jack with jalapenos in it, because I'm a bit of excitement there. But if you don't want to use the jalapeno one, you don't have to. I have to say, it tasted good in my other potato soup we did. Potatoes and chicken. All right, let's pump that back up to medium. At this stage, I'm going to add 4 cups of half and half. If I can get it open. And we'll go ahead and add our taters. Just like that. Give that a nice stir. And that is coming together. Now, I'm not going to measure my pepper. I like a lot of pepper. You pepper and salt it to your tasting. All right. I got 16 ounces of sour cream that we're going to put in there. What's a baked potato without sour cream? We'll just get that all dissolved into it. Ooh, this is smelling good. I'm going to go ahead and dump my bacon in there as well. All right. I put this up to medium high. I'm going to stir it very, very regularly because we don't want that to curdle the milk in there. But I'm trying to get it back up to temperature before I put my cheese in so my cheese will melt. That might take a few minutes to get that up there to temperature. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, John. You are a total idiot. Well, I've already added my cheese. I thought I pressed record and I didn't. That's what happens when I pause. Should have just let it roll, but I didn't. So I forgot. So what I did was I grated my cheese. You saw that, I think. I think I got that on tape. And then I just added that slowly to my soup and stirred it as I added it so that it didn't clump up in a ball. I started off with my pepper jack. Got that all well incorporated. And then I went to my Parmesan cheese, and Parmesan cheese, the grated Parmesan cheese, 6 ounces of it. That will clump up, so you have to add that very slowly. Just add it a little bit at a time, get it all incorporated, mix it up, add a little bit more, mix it up, and just take your time on adding that. And once that was all added, that's where we're at now. Sorry about that. And what I'm doing now is I've got it down to a medium low. We are going to cook that simmer for about 15 minutes. And we are going to stir that very regularly so that that cream and all that don't burn. We just want this to all come up to temperature, really. So I've been cooking that for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go 5 more minutes because that's pretty hot. That's all we need, is it to be nice and hot. So I'll see you in 5 minutes, and I'm not pressing pause on the camera so that I don't forget to press record again. Okay, so that's been another 5 minutes. It's about 10 minutes of simmering. Now I'm going to take my potato masher and I'm going to gently mash. I'm not going to mash all the chunks of potato, but I want to mash some of them to get a nice texture to the soup. That's an optional step, but I just like to do it. All right, let's give this a taste. Oh man. Oh man. You guys are gonna love this. Turn that off. We'll let this cool down. Once it's cooled down, we'll tray it up. But let me tell you, I'm hoping I got some left over because this is delicious. All right. We'll see you once this cools down enough for us to tray up. This is a cast iron pot that holds the heat, so I'm just stirring a little bit as the pot cools. Okay. This has cooled down a bit. Give that a stir, get that skin that's formed on the top mixed in. Turn that on, get it zeroed out. 2.5 pounds on my medium harvestright freeze dryer tray. All 2.5 pounds. All right, there's 2.5 pounds. Spread that out just a little bit. Get that evenly divided on. These potato chunks are a little bit big, so we might have some problems rehydrating them. Might have to let them sit a little bit longer. But I'm just going to take some pretty little onions and sprinkle it along the top. Make it look pretty. I'm going to cheat. Get some bacon bits. Put those on the top. Just a little bit. Add some color to it. You know, when we rehydrate it, you won't see none of that anyway. Alright. Divide that into 10. These dividers cut through those potatoes pretty easy. There you go. I got 2 more to do, and I'll be right back. Alright, there you go. It's all ready for the freeze dryer. Does that look pretty or what? Let me tell you, that is delicious. And I got plenty left over for me. I did 3 trays. You could have got 4 trays out of this, but I got something special I want to put in that 4th slot. So there you go. What do you think of that? Loaded baked potato soup. Delicious. Alright, I'll get this frozen solid. Once it's frozen solid, we'll transfer it to the freeze dryer and get it freeze dried. And next time you see it, it'll be coming out of the freeze dryer. I'll see you then. Alright, here we go. There's my potato soup out of the freeze dryer. Does that look pretty or what? Alright. I'm not going to, you guys have seen this 1,000 times, but there might be that one viewer that never has, so I'll show you how I package this. For me, my meals are 3 of those squares. So I just drop 3 squares into my meal pouch, give it a gentle Dremel so that it cuts nicely and easily. And that's all I do. So let me get these packaged and I'll be right back. Okay, we got that all bagged up. Now we're going to take our 300cc O2 absorbers and pop one of those in each pouch. And then zip it up. That's all there is to it. For now, I'll be right back. Alright, there we go. Let me get my sealer out and we'll get these sealed up. Alright, the light is going out. I put this on 125 on mine, which is Celsius by the way. So we just squeeze that shut, watch for it to melt along the edge. We know it's good and sealed. And that's all there is to that. So let me get these done. And I'll be right back. Last one. All right. Now, we'll let this cool down, let these cool down, and I'll leave them out for a day or two just to make sure everything's sealed up tight. I'm sure they did, but we always just check that before we put them away for long-term storage. So, next time you see me, we'll be opening one of these up for a taste test. maybe tomorrow. I got something else I want to be doing tomorrow, but I'm going to try and squeeze that in. If not, we'll get it done for the next part of this video. I'll see you then. All right, it's lunchtime. I got plenty to do this afternoon, so let's get this loaded baked potato soup rehydrated and fill my belly. I'm looking forward to this. That opened up. Remove the O2 absorber. There we go. That's what's in my little pouch here. We put 3 squares in, so I'm going to put 3/4 of a cup of water. That's my go-to formula for the way I package. One of those squares is about 1/4 of a cup of water for the most part. There are a few exceptions, but pretty much that works out really well for me. All right, let's seal that up. Since those are big chunky potatoes, we are going to wait 3 minutes before we stir that. So I'll see you in 3 minutes. Okay, that has been 3 minutes. Let's see how we're getting on. Oh yeah, looking nice and creamy in there. Let's pick out a chunky potato and see where we're at. Don't want to get too much. Definitely need some more time. So you know what we're going to do? We are going to let that sit for another 3 minutes. And we'll test it then. So I'll see you in 3 more minutes. Okay, that's been another 3 minutes. So far we've done it a total of 6 minutes of rehydration. Give that another stir. Looking so delicious in there. Let's take out another potato chunk and see where we're at. Oh yeah, that is good. All right, so let me tell you about these meal pouches. Just a short blurb. These are what they call a single meal pouch that I get from topmylar.com. TOPMYLAR.com. And they have a couple of codes that you can use. For general purposes, you place an order of $50 or more and you use the code BIBS, B-I-B-S, on checkout. You will save $5 on orders of $50 or more. They've also got a single-use coupon, if my viewers haven't used it already, that can you use one time, but it's good for 10% off your order no matter how much the order is. So if you had, $500 order and you took 10% off, that'd take $50 off your $500 order, which is a really good coupon, but it's a single use. The code for that is BIBS10, BIBS10. BIBS10, no spaces, one word, BIBS10. So head on over to topmylar.com and get you some single meal pouches. I use them exclusively. They're a fantastic product. So we can eat these straight from the pouch. That's why I like them. They're shallow, so we can get our spoon all the way to the bottom of the pouch and eat it right out of the pouch. Not have to dirty up any dishes. However, we like to dirty up the dishes so that you can see what the food looks like reconstituted. So here we go. You ready for the reveal? Check that out. Man, that is some nice, rich, thick, creamy potato soup, loaded baked potato soup. And we're going to get every drop I can out of there. so good. Let's get a close up of that. And I'm going to doctor it up just a little bit for the camera. All right, let's dig in. Didn't that look pretty? Oh man, those potatoes have just come out beautiful. This is a winner. I think this is better than the last one I made with the chicken in it. Loaded baked potato soup is the way to go. We got a lot of fat in there from the butter and a little bit of, about 2 tablespoons I think I put of bacon fat in there. But that gets all cooked and absorbed into the roux, the flour, the onions, the potatoes, and it kind of balances it all out. So for long-term storage, I personally, I'm on Social Security, so I ain't gonna have probably 25 more years to go. But I think you'll get really good long-term storage out of it, providing that you follow the rules of freeze drying. You got to make sure it's 100% dry. You got to pack it in a nice 7 mil Mylar bag that blocks out the sunlight and everything. And you got to put a very good O2 absorber. I always overdo on fatty food. I always go over the top of what's recommended for the container that I'm putting the O2 absorber in. I think those meal pouches probably call for 100 cc, but I always use 300 cc. That's over the top. And what that is for oils to go rancid, it requires oxygen. Light can affect it, and oxygen, light, and heat. So as long as you get rid of those things, you have a better chance of extending your food storage life. So by using a thick Mylar bag versus a mason jar, you're not getting sunlight in there, storing it in a temperature controlled environment. You're not getting it building up a heat and cooling down and heat and cooling down. That's important. And obviously no oxygen in the bag, and you should be okay. I don't like giving time frames because I don't want you all to come back and sue me. And some they say, you said you'd get 20 years out of this, I only got 18. So, I'm going to sue you. So, I don't like giving dates. But for me, this is going to be perfect. And I know I store my stuff properly, and I know I freeze dry it properly till it's dry. So, that being said, with all the, what you call it, that the asterisks, the little asterisks when they have an advertisement for, say, a pharmaceutical or something, and the small print at the bottom, that's all the small print at the bottom. But you are going to enjoy this. Man, the creaminess, flavor in that is just, it's gorgeous. And those big chunks of potato have come back perfectly, so took a little bit longer than I normally do for my rehydration, about 6 minutes, and then we talked probably for a minute before I dug in, so about the bags, the pouches. So, be a little bit patient on this one, and the rewards will be there for you. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you for the next video, which I'm working on finishing off today. It's going to be a nice treat for the holiday seasons. I miss doing my treats. Cheers.